Hey guys, Gadget Man here with nothing but gadgets, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Ceyomur CY65 trail camera. So 3, 2, 1, let's get at it. Alright guys, this camera was sent to me by the Ceyomur company to do this review, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. And you guys know how I do my reviews. I'm going to put this out in a real world test, let it out, leave it out there for a few weeks, and get some live footage and show you how this thing did. But first, let's break it out of the box and see what it looks like. Alright guys, so this is what comes in the box with it. You got your manual here, your tree strap, your hardware mounting base here, some screws, and a data cable. But the camera is what is most important, so let's go ahead and take a close look at it. Okay, it's a pretty normal design here. I mean, it's a little different, but basically you got one clip on the side instead of two. Oh, I like this. It doesn't open up in half like a lot of the other boxes do. So it basically opens up. You've got a side-mounted full-size SD card. Really like that. Where's your battery carriage? Battery carriage is here. How do you access that? Let's see. Oh, just press down on that right there. Out comes your battery carriage right here. That's good. I love this kind of design right here. This bottom battery carriage design is my favorite design. It's got a little bit different button configuration here. I'll do a walkthrough guide on how to use the menu on this after I learn it. I'll teach you how it works. You got your side sensors here, your main sensor, and your camera there. A couple of lights. Look, these are dark LEDs or no glow LEDs here. So, okay, so let's look at the back. You've got strap mount, rope mount. Here is a tripod screw right here. I actually kind of like this design a lot. It's different, but it's got a lot of the features that I like in them, which is the side-mounted full-size SD card and the battery carriage. I love those kinds of designs. So the real important question is, how does it work in the field? So that's what I'm going to answer for you. So I'm going to load it up with a battery and SD card, put it out in the field, and come back and I will show you how it did. So hold on, because I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I'm back with the Ceyomur CY65, and it's been in the field for over a month, and boy, it has done a lot of stuff. I got kind of busy in my life with the holiday season, and so I'm a little late on getting it in. I normally leave it out for about 3 weeks. I've actually had this in the field for 39 days now, but it's worth it, and I got to see a lot of how this camera works. So if you're familiar with my videos, you know that I'm going to go through all the technical stuff first, but if what you really came here for is just to see the samples, the videos, and images, go ahead and skip forward to that section. If you'll look at the bottom of the play bar on YouTube, you will see a chapter menu, and it will have samples and images up down the road. You can skip forward here. Anyways, if you're interested in the technical performance data, let's go ahead and jump right into that. Okay, so the test parameters was I had it set to take 3 images and 1 video, one 10-second video on 10-minute intervals, okay? The initial battery voltage, when I put the batteries into it, each battery was tested at 1.61 volts. And as I said, the camera was in the field for 39 days. Okay, test results. So after 39 days in the field, I captured a total of 2,838 files. That's 2,154 images and 684 videos. The total data size on the card was 15.3 gigabytes. The average image size was 3 megabytes, and the average video size was 1.4 megabytes per second of video. The ending voltage on the batteries after all of that was 1.31 volts. Okay, so let's talk about these results. Okay, as far as the files, the total files, that was pretty good. It had a really good detection ratio, and I just have a lot of animals coming to my feeder. at this time of the year, so that's why I got so many files. And I can't really say that there was any time that it had a false positive. I didn't actually catch any false positives. So that's actually 2,838 files of animals. Okay, so that was really good. I had it set to take 3 pictures and 1 video, but it's not an equal balance because we have 2,154 images and 684 videos. So that's not an actual perfect balance, 3-to-1 ratio. And I'm going to explain to you later why that was, but I'll just tell you real quickly. This camera had a problem actually judging the battery voltage, and the IR lights actually drained. They drew really heavily on the batteries when they were on, and it caused it to sometimes not take a video. It would take pictures, but say, oh, we don't have enough battery power to take the video, so it would skip that. Especially towards the end of the 39 days, it started not taking videos due to the lower voltage on the battery. So that's why there's an imbalance of the 3-to-1 ratio images to videos, okay? Size-wise, the videos are actually 1.4 megabytes, and this is a 2K camera, and I had everything set to maximum quality. That's actually very low data size for the video, and you'll see when I show you the samples, the actual videos are pretty good on this thing. So that's a very efficient use of data space. On the other hand, the images are 3 megabytes, which are actually kind of on the higher end of images. And when you see the samples, you're going to see that the images actually are not as good as you expect them to be for that amount of data, for 3 megabyte picture, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into the samples, and let's look first at some image samples. So first I'm going to throw up some bright day image samples here. And now I'm going to throw up some low light image samples like you would get in the late afternoon or early morning. And now some nighttime image samples. Okay, so let's talk about those. So they're not horrible, but they're not as good as I would have expected them to be. Okay, they could be better. I just with the quality on the data size, I expect them to be better. I mean, they're totally usable, and I'm kind of nitpicking here because I do have to offer a comparison. They're not horrible. I've seen cameras that produce way worse pictures than this, but I've seen some 1080p. Non 20 megapixel cameras that produced pictures that were actually better than this. So, it's not like, yes, totally usable, totally viewable, and they're actually good pictures, but I'm just, I'm here to give you a comparison and give you an honest opinion about it. So, they're good pictures, they're not great pictures, okay? So, let's go now and see some video samples. Okay, so, now I'm going to show some bright day video samples. Now some low light video samples. And now some nighttime video samples. Okay, so let's talk about those. Honestly, I'm very impressed with the quality of the video on this camera. I mean, the daytime stuff is really, really good, especially live in person, looking on a big screen. Really good quality, color balance, clarity, detail, it's all good there. The nighttime, very good. Not the absolute best nighttime videos I've seen, but right there, way above what I would call the average. It's above average nighttime quality. One thing that I want to mention is that due to one of my viewers commented and said that I don't talk about the throw distance of the IR lights. And they said that was really important thing that I need to mention. So I'm going to try to remember to mention that. If you look at this picture I'm going to throw up, you can see that there's a grass line behind the feeder, and that is 40 feet away. Okay, so for reference, that's a 40 foot away. So at night, animals, these cameras have a detection range. They'll say 60 or 80 feet. But if the IR lights are not strong enough to reach out to 60 or 80 feet and it's detecting animals out there in the dark, way past the range of the throw of the lights, or how far it shines out there, which they technically call the throw, okay, then what good is it that it detects out to 60 or 80 feet, right? So I think the viewer had a really good point about that. And I'm going to try to mention that more often in these reviews, is how far the light goes out. So you can see here in the picture that I've thrown up that it's illuminated all the way out to the edge of that grass. So that's 40 feet. And actually that's really good on this camera. It has some bright LEDs. They are the no glow, that you can't see the little LED lights. And so they're low glow. They shouldn't interfere much with the animals, but they're bright and they reach out there quite a distance. And I would say that they're better than a lot of the other cameras that I've tested. So that's a positive on this camera. Okay. So, the video quality I have no complaints about. And in fact, if you buy this camera, I would recommend that you just set it to video and forget about taking images, because the video quality is actually better than the image quality on this one, which is kind of odd because normally it's the reverse. So I really like the video quality on this camera better than the image quality. All right, so let's go ahead and sum it up here. This review is drawn on a little long here, so let's just talk about the pros. Okay, so this is what I would call, as far as price, a mid-range camera. This is 2K. They have it priced at $87.99 as of the recording of this video, with a 20% coupon. So that'd put it around $65 or something like that. I would call that a mid-range camera. Ceyomur does make a 1080p camera that you can get right now for it's about $40, but it has like a $15 coupon, so you can get it for like $25. And that one doesn't have as good as image quality and video quality as this one, but it is like half the price. So it's still a very usable camera. And I have a review of that one, and you can check my channel out for that. I'll throw a little link up in the top corner right here if you want to watch that review. If you don't really have a lot of money, you can go get that camera. I really like the design, like I like this case design here. Okay, so the case design on this is my favorite thing. I love this case design where you have this door that opens up like this. You have the battery carriage instead of having to open it up. And again, because it has a swing away door or cover and it actually doesn't open up, you can mount it and you can actually frame your shots by looking at the camera, because the camera is on the same side as the viewing screen. And so when you turn it on, it shows you exactly where it's pointed. So I really like this design. It's got the side mounted full size SD card. So the design is great. I mean, look at this. I'm using this camouflage background so you can see it. It's a good camo pattern right here. So that's actually really good. So anyways, I like the design of it a lot. My favorite design. Okay. It had a really good detection ratio. It didn't really take any false positives that I actually saw in 39 days and almost 3,000 images. Everything had something in it, but it didn't pick up a lot of small things like rabbits and birds. And that was really good because a lot of cameras just pick up like really small stuff. So I like the detection ratio on this camera. The daytime video is really good. The nighttime video is really good. And the infrared light range or throw of the infrared lights is I would say above average distance compared to other cameras that I have done reviews on. Okay. So what could be improved on it? One thing that I found on this is I already said that the batteries, the IR lights are strong, but as a result of that, they're actually draining the batteries, and that was causing a problem. Within 2 weeks of this camera, I'm going to throw some images up here. I put a brand new set of batteries in here. Within 2 weeks, at nighttime during videos, it was registering like 20% battery life. Okay. And in some videos, it actually got down to 0% battery life. It said 0%. And that's another thing is that the battery meter on the screen is not very accurate. The batteries were obviously not drained because after 39 days, they were still at 1.31 volts, which is plenty of power to power a camera. But the meter was saying that they were completely drained, and that's not true. So that's just a firmware issue. The good thing is none of it affected the absolute functionality of the camera, except towards the very end of the test where it was saying 0% battery, and because of that, it did not take video. It still took the pictures, but it did not take some videos as a result of it basically not being able to gauge the battery life correctly. Okay, but that is not something a firmware update could actually fix. But it just, maybe because the lights are bright, which is a positive, it's a pro that the lights are bright and have a long throw. The downfall of that is when they're on and you're shooting video at night, they are pulling heavily on the batteries. And it's actually causing the battery meter to drop, the voltage to drop while they're on as a result of the massive draw on the batteries. Okay, now, the funny thing is like at night it might say 10%, like in this image right here, it says 10%. The next day it'll say 50% because it's not got the lights on. So that's showing you that the lights are actually drawing the battery down, but then it's actually recuperating back after the lights go off. So maybe that could be a little more efficient. I don't know. It's kind of a catch-22. We want the bright IR lights, but at the same time, that's what consumes the batteries. So it's kind of what you're going for. If you use just images at night, the batteries would last a really long time. But if, like me, you have it set to take 10-second videos at night, then them IR lights have to be on all the time. So that's going to draw your batteries down. But I prefer the video because I like to see the animal. And I prefer that over an image. So to me, it's worth a little extra battery power to get that. So it's kind of up to you what you want to do with that. So that's basically the last thing that probably could be a little better is the image quality. We know the camera lens is capable of taking good video. So it should be able to take good image quality because it has a high data, but the image quality is not as good as the video, and that doesn't make sense, honestly. I don't know why it would be that way. It just doesn't make sense to me that it would have really good video with a low data rate and really high data rate for images, but the images wouldn't be as good. That seems also like a firmware issue, but neither one of them would prevent me from buying this camera if I needed a camera, because I do love the case design and the detection ratio and everything else about it. So these are just improvements. They're not really cons or things that could be better that are not horrible, okay? All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you have, please like, subscribe, and comment. I will throw a link to this product in the description of the video for your convenience. You will find that there. Well, until next time, this is the Gadget Man saying, I'll see you later.